Okay, welcome to 2Inspire Health and Fitness Magazine show. I am Dennis Postema, your host, and today we have a very special guest, IFBB pro, Ann Titone. And Ann has competed and is a 6-time figure pro champion. Five different times she's been to the Olympia, placing 4th in 2014. Currently, now that you're retired from that aspect, she's co-owner of The Dungeon. She does personal training and helps people do posings for their presentations. And now you currently are an IFBB judge and an MPC judge. Welcome, Ann. We are so excited to have you here. It's a big honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I'm truly honored that you have asked me to do this.
Yeah. Well, we are very excited to have you here. So obviously you've been one of the neatest things, figuring out your story and going through it. I have a book on stories of perseverance, and I've been through a lot of health issues. You've been through a lot of issues due to things that have happened in your life. But what we want to start with is let's hear your story. How did you get from never working out, as far as not being into fitness, and where you started at 17, how your life changed? Can we start there and kind of go into the process?
Sure, and you may have to interrupt me because once I get on a roll, I just go. So if you have to interrupt me, please feel free.
No problem, no problem.
I was 17 years old, and I played basketball, if you want to call it that, in high school. I wasn't any good. And a week before our very first game, I was actually in a head-on collision car accident. This car accident was extremely life-threatening. Again, it was a head-on collision. I was on my way to school, and I don't really remember anything that happened. And that's not for lack of trying. I went to several hypnotists and therapists to try to draw back that memory, but apparently your mind just kind of shuts down traumatic things. And so I don't remember anything. I remember the night before, my dad yelled at me because I didn't have a radio in my car, so I put one of those little box radios. Okay. And his exact words to me were, "Anne Marie, if you don't take that out of your car, and if you ever get into a car accident, it could hit you and hurt you."
Oh and gosh.
So yeah, that kind of resonates with me. And then I remember a few weeks prior to that, I was riding with my best friend down the same highway, and we were talking about our biggest fears. And again, I was like 17 years old. So
yeah,
at that time, my biggest fear was that something would happen to me and I would be in the hospital known as a Jane Doe, and no one would know who I was. And initially, after the accident, when I was flown to St. Louis University, my prescriptions were Jane Doe.
Oh my goodness.
So it's things like that really resonate with me. That
scary during reflection, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of weird how that comes about. But so I was in a car accident. In this car accident, I had a compound fractured femur bone, so it came up and out of my hip. I dislocated one side of my hip. I fractured the other. I broke several ribs, one of which punctured my lung. I had a lacerated spleen. One side of my jaw was broke. The other side was dislocated. So there was a lot of things. I was in a coma.
Oh my gosh.
I was in a accident-induced coma, but then because my injuries were so bad, there was a point that they actually kept me under. They kept me in a medical coma. So it was a total of about 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, wow.
I came out of the coma and did rehabilitation and physical therapy. I had to learn to put, just shapes together. Occupational therapy, I did physical therapy. And I will tell you this, that physical therapists don't get enough acknowledgement.
Okay.
To this day, I don't remember what her last name was, but her first name was Vicky, and the encouragement that she gave to me was amazing, and
motivating and
absolutely. So I feel like physical therapists don't get enough recognition for the work that they do in
You're
people's
probably
lives.
right. That's probably a really good point. At what point, I mean, that's a great point, and that's you always want to give credit to those people who changed your life.
Absolutely.
You never know when an angel's coming along and what form.
Amen.
And because they told your parents, right, that, you know, if you survive, which was unlikely,
Right.
it wasn't going to be, what exactly did they tell you?
Well, so I was arch helicoptered. They had to use the jaws of life. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Absolutely.
they go and they rip off the top of your car and pull you out. And I was arch helicoptered to St. Louis University. After being there for a few hours, they had the priest come in and gather my parents and tell them that their daughter wasn't going to make it through the night. And if she did, you know, I played basketball, so I wasn't going to play basketball anymore, you know, that I would have to have a lot of assistance in anything that I did because of the brain trauma. There was a lot of swelling on my brain, apparently, because when you have that much of an impact, your brain just sits in water. So when it slushes forward and it gets such an impact like that, that's where a lot of the damage could come from. But my parents have very great faith.
Yeah.
My mom, you know, spent many, many, many hours, I'm sure, in prayer and solitude. And it wasn't my time to go.
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason. So.
Yeah, different plans. That's great.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What point do you remember during your physical therapy? What part do you remember? Like, what's your first memory, I guess, after waking up?
Oh, you know,
starting into that process.
It's just bits and pieces. You know, I can remember. I know I was in a wheelchair bound, and here's another odd thing. My parents built a house my junior year of high school.
Okay.
They built a house based on them getting old and being in a wheelchair when they get older.
Oh my gosh.
And a year after their house is built, their daughter comes home in a wheelchair at the age of 17. So, you know, I just remember just trying to get up from the chair, just the, you know, the flexibility things, the activities that we would do. Again, it's like just flashes of different things. I can remember sitting in a chair and literally having shapes in my hand and trying to put a triangle into a triangle hole or a square into, you know, things like that. I have flashbacks of. I have a flashback of, it was like a hospital outing thing. It was right before Christmas. So I went to the mall and I actually passed out because just the excitement of everything. I passed out in the store.
What's going on, huh?
Yeah. So I remember that. And I can vaguely remember people coming and seeing me. So, and I was a Bulls fan, so I can kind of remember waking up. My mom played the Bulls in the hospital room for me. She played it just continually. And I was a big Michael Jordan fan. So I owned like every pair of tennis shoes that he had. And my mom would whisper in my ear, Anne Marie, you have to wake up because we have to go get your Jordans. It's Christmas time. We have to go get your Jordans. So, sorry.
No, I can really appreciate that. You're around my age group, so Michael Jordan, it's
yeah.
how that happens on these interviews. Everybody else is talking about the new people out there playing and everything, and somehow during all my interviews it goes back to Michael Jordan's. We could probably spend 45 minutes talking about the shoes. At least I could, I know.
For sure. I mean, and the shoes are great now, but they ain't got nothing back in the day. So.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So special. That was, you know, back when shoes, they didn't have a lot of endorsement deals and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
So how did you go from going through all of that? I mean, what are next steps to, what's the turning point for you? I mean, at such a young age going through all that.
Sure.
And what's the turning point for you to decide, okay, I'm going to do something big. I'm going to, you know, go into bodybuilding. I'm going to, where's the turning point?
Sure. Well, I met my husband and he was, you know, close to 300 pounds, single digit body fat, you know, this,
wow.
He was huge, you know, and I come from the country. And so you just didn't have people like that there, you know,
right. Just walking around. Right.
Yeah. And he's a little bit older than me. And we got to talking and we started dating, and he was an avid gym person. I was in just decent shape because I was young.
Right, sure.
and I had a pretty good metabolism. So I kind of was inspired to start working out when I met him. And I went to New Lady Fitness. That was my first gym membership, and had the pink circuit training thing.
Okay.
And then he was a member at a gym called World's Gym here in St. Louis, and it was like the bodybuilder gym.
Right.
So I would go with him, and I'd take the weight off, and be a little eye candy or what have you, I guess. And then I just kind of I didn't really take it serious,
Right.
but it was something that we could do together as a couple. And about the age of, I guess, well, we got married, and a few years after getting married, we bought a house, and I had a full-time job, and I could give you every excuse in the world like they usually do. And going to the gym was not a priority for me.
Okay.
So food was. So I ate, and I gained quite a bit of, not a lot, but out of my comfort zone, I guess. And so,
and we're now at the age where the metabolism that was always there
exactly
starts to diminish, right?
That's right.
Wait a minute, where'd that go? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that was a IFBB fitness pro. If you're familiar with fitness, they do like the backflips and the cartwheels and the this and the that. But she was built the way I was when I was competing, because it's similar body styles. They just do the cool stuff with it. And she was a good friend of mine. Her husband owned a powerhouse gym, and Jack and I were members of the gym. He went more so than I did, but
Right.
We had a Christmas party, and I was like, man, Angie, the Arnold Classic was coming up. So this was in December, and I was like, man, Angie, I just can't get motivated to get back in the gym. What am I going to do? And she's like, do a photo shoot with me and Arnold in Ohio at the Arnold Classic. And I was like, what? Here's this girl with all these muscles, and she's really lean. And I'm like, well, that's motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went to my husband, and I was like, can you write me a diet? Because I really want to do this. I really want to do this photo shoot with her. So we did. And so for, 3 months, I ate not a cheat, nothing. I followed exactly what he said. I went to the gym every day. I did my cardio just like I was supposed to. And just my body was, though it didn't have that metabolism like it did before, it responded very well to, the consistency. And we go to the Arnold. We never did the photo shoot, but I saw all these muscle people that, it was beautiful. I think that muscular physiques, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really, inspiring. It was really motivational. And she had said to me after she competed, she's like, you should try to compete. And I was like, I don't know, really? She's like, yeah, you should do it. So for 3 more months, we trained to get ready for the show. Jack was familiar with competing because he had competed when he was younger.
Okay.
So he trained me, and he did my diet. And we tried to find a small show because I didn't want to do it in front of people I knew. I didn't want to do it in front of my friends and family. I kept it on the lowdown,
Kind of baby stepping into it.
Yes. Right. So this show was in Indiana. I thought, you know what? This is great. It's a different states away. I don't know anybody there. We're just going to do it. It's going to be a small little show. It wound up being a regional show. So it was all states that surrounded Indiana that could come to the show. And, but it was good because I actually got third, which was pretty good.
Another step in the inspiration block right there.
Exactly. And that just really puts a fire in your belly to do better, and I was like, maybe I might be pretty good at this. Let's see where we can go with it. So then I did another show like a month later, and then another one a month later. And then it just kind of went from there.
Wow. That's amazing. That's so awesome to go. Like, what a cycle of, you think about the people falling in place that have changed your life, even not doing the photo shoot, and then, meeting your husband, getting married, all those things, and everything, all the ducks being in the row,
it all lines up.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say to somebody who has went through similar tragedies? What kind of wisdom would you give them to get to overcome and to get where you are, and what really kept you motivated during the rough times?
You know, I had such a great support system. I'm daddy's girl. I'm the only girl. I'm the oldest. I'm daddy's girl, and my mom is my best friend.
Okay.
So no matter what choice I ever made in life, my parents always supported me. Maybe they didn't agree with it, but they
Right.
supported me only if I wasn't obviously putting myself in harm's way. So I had family support. I couldn't have asked for a better coach. Though we had a hard time because, I mean, we were married, and, you know, I'm supposed to be hot. I'm supposed to be the apple of your eye, blah, blah, blah. And here we are married. And I feel like if I walked around showing too much skin, he was like evaluating me, you know? So I'm like, what are you looking at? Just
Yeah.
say it. So the support system is a big, big motivational thing, but, you know, it's just a personal thing. You know, I think you come to a point in your life where you're just fed up,
Yeah.
you know, and for all the reasons that you shouldn't be able to do something, you do.
Yeah.
You do it, you know. And I think that was really the biggest thing. It was my own, just
Yeah.
believing in myself. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's funny. I was making sure it wasn't my dog. What would you say as far as that guy? I mean, what does what does a workout look like when you're competing for the Olympia? I've seen some of your videos, very intense online. What is, okay, so what's a day look like for Ann when you're competing or getting ready for the Olympia or an event?
Well, a lot of people have the misconception that if you are in the Olympia or you are a bodybuilder, you don't have a life. You
Okay.
don't do anything but wake up, go to the gym, hang out all day, and eat chicken and rice. When in fact, that is the complete opposite. I worked for a dental office. I was an office manager, and I was an office manager for a dentist that didn't even know how to turn the computer on, much less use it.
Okay.
So I was her right-hand person. So the entire time I competed, I was an office manager. I had a full-time job. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would be at the gym at 5 o'clock when it opened. I would do my hour of cardio or half hour, whatever, depending on how close I was. I would do my cardio. I would come home. I would shower. I would eat my breakfast, take pictures and send them to somebody that was looking at me if I needed to. I would go to work. I would work from 8 to 5 or whenever the last patient left. I would then drive 30 minutes to the gym. I would work out. I would come home, take care of my husband, because first I am a wife before anything else.
Sure.
You know, I would spend time with my husband, and I have a small zoo. So I would visit with my animals, prepare for the next day, go to sleep, do it all again the next day. It just becomes very routine.
So the good thing about what you just explained about going through like the your day to day is so many people trying to get, you know, lose weight, trying to get fit, trying to get into bodybuilding, whatever it may be. We all make those excuses, and it's
Yes.
very easy to make those excuses.
Yes.
What I love about what you just said is I didn't make the excuse. I didn't say I was going to not be a good wife. I didn't say I was going to not take care of my animals. I didn't say it wasn't going to work. I said, well, if I want to do this, here's what I have to do, and here's what my day looks like.
Exactly. And that is honestly what it is. I mean, it's a priority. It's a choice that you make. I was speaking with a coach at one point, and she was speaking to her member or her client, and she said to her client, nobody made you do this. Nobody is making you get up to do cardio. Nobody's making you eat chicken and oatmeal. Nobody's making you do this. This is your choice.
Right.
So don't take out anything that you're irritated with, or that you're hungry, or you're, you know, irritated in any way, out on them, because that's your support system.
Right.
So yes, you can either just be mad and not do it, or tired. I'll go tomorrow and put it off. But that just means that end result that you're trying to get to, it gets put out that much further too.
Yeah. So not only are you messing up the end result, but also if you take out that irritability on those people, you're starting to put holes in that support system.
Absolutely.
And that's when things start to fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how much different is that now compared to, or then compared to what it is now with, I mean, I know you have a crazy schedule with judging a gym? I mean, you have tons of clients.
Well, here's where I'll be completely transparent with you.
Okay.
When I retired, my last year of competing, I kind of touched a little bit on it there in my bio, but I actually tore my hip labrum.
Okay.
Just a few months before the 2014 Olympia. I didn't even know. I was horrible at stretching. So I just thought I had a tight IT band. And, you know, I put Band-Aids on it and I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't get x-rays, anything. I just, you know, treated myself by going to the chiropractor and getting grafts in and deep tissue massage. And it just progressively was getting worse and worse and worse. And
as you're continuing to train as well,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. Pressing, you know, 600 pounds on a leg press, or, you know, squatting 225 pounds on a squat. You just push through it.
Yeah.
It had literally gotten to a point where how your body responds to pain, it's like your mind, it just shuts down. And because the pain in my leg had gotten so bad, and with the past injuries of my hips, I mean, I couldn't sleep. I had to take medication to sleep. I couldn't sit for a long time because it was really painful. And it became a second job for me.
Okay.
And it became a second job that I felt like I had to do. And you know, when it comes to that point, you start to hate what you're doing.
A lot of your ambition and your love for what you're doing goes away, and that's
what it was. That's exactly what it was. So that last year was like, oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, I have to eat chicken and rice. And so when I retired, I didn't just hang up my heels. I sold them. You know, I was done.
Yeah.
And I just did a total 180. I wound up I went to the gym maybe once a week, if that. I didn't do cardio. I ate the millions of things that I didn't eat for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I went and had the surgery in December, and then there was the rehabilitation with that. So I used that as an excuse not to go to the gym. So, you know, I quit working out for probably about 2 years.
Okay.
Like I did not work out at all. And I was running a gym. So I had every opportunity to do so, and I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Until my brother came to me last summer. He's a year younger than me, and he went through a little breakup, and he has the complete opposite metabolism than I do. He's tall and he's a skinny guy. So he came to me and he says, you know, would you help me? Would you train me and help me put on some muscle? And I was like, well, of course I will. I mean, I've got the facility. If you're willing to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So he comes, and it just took that one time, that one training session. I said, you know, he thinks I'm the best thing since sliced bread, you know, with competing and all. And I said, well, how do you feel if I actually started working out with you? And he was like, man, he was just head over heels with that idea. And so now we work out together Monday through Friday. He gets off work at 3:00. He comes and works out. It's not at all with the intensity that it was before. We gab, we crack jokes, you know, probably more so than we actually should, but that's kind of what a day in the gym looks like for me now.
But it's also, you can see you smile about it. You're having the enjoyment back.
Oh, yeah.
To where you're doing it, you know, there's always different levels. And
you know what, the icing on the cake with the whole thing, though, no pun intended, what my brother has done. I mean, he went from not being able to put any weight on a leg press to being able to put 10 plates on each side, 450 pounds, almost 500 pounds, doing sets of 10.
Wow.
And to hear other people say, wow, Trav, you've been working out, because he's, got such development since he's been training over the last year, and just his own self-conscious, or his own confidence is, I mean, that's it in a nutshell for me.
Yeah, that's not just great for him. What that does to light you up and just get things going, and seeing that happen.
Absolutely.
Transformation right before your eyes is probably just,
yep.
It's just amazing to see.
Definitely.
Wow, that's excellent. What would you say, what would be, just a couple more quick things, what would be your best advice to somebody who just cannot get to the gym? They just can't get there, you know, they want to lose weight, you know, they're in a funk. What would be your one thing you would tell them?
Just get off the couch.
Okay.
You know, find some stairs, go outside, get a dog, walk a dog. I mean, you know, that's all it takes. It's just movement.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's movement. It's not being lazy. You know, is a gym good to go to get faster, better results? Absolutely. But if you're just trying to get your foot in the door, just get off the couch.
Yep.
You know, I mean, now with the things that are available on our phones and the apps and the internet and YouTube, I mean, there's such, you know, so much information.
Yep.
And honestly, I mean, it's trial and error with what happens with people. But the bottom line is it's just movement.
Yep.
You know? It's just making better choices of what you're going to eat. You know, you don't have to be a nutritionist to know, you know, what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. Should I have a Snickers or should I have a carrot?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist for that. It's just making better choices, taking small steps. Small steps lead to big lead to miles lead to journeys.
Yeah.
You know,
I couldn't agree more. And I love the small steps comment, because I always tell people, why don't you just take 5 minutes? If you haven't worked out in 10 years, go walk for just 5 minutes.
absolutely.
It may kill you. Do that for 3 to 5 days, and then increase it to 10. And then, you know, just slowly. And then before you know it, who knows? We had somebody who used to play basketball. That's how he lost, I don't know, it was something like 150 pounds. But he started by he played basketball for five minutes, and of course was dead, you know, weighing twice as much as you should or whatever it would be, and just started going into it. And it's amazing how 6 months down the road.
Absolutely. Just the basics. Everybody knows how to do a jumping jack.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to do a sit-up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to do a push-up. I mean, everybody knows how everybody sits on the toilet, a squat.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the basic fundamentals, you know.
And even if you do it with bad form, you're still moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like
Sure.
to add to the show or to the magazine?
You know, the biggest accomplishment other than being on the stage is the business that my husband and I have built with our promoting of the bodybuilding shows. There again, it's just amazing to see what we've done as far as providing opportunities for other people to get on stage and to follow their dreams into bodybuilding. I think I touched a little bit on it. When I was still competing in 2010, and we decided that we wanted to promote a bodybuilding show. Our first bodybuilding show that we ever did was not a national qualifier. It was for new people only. And we had a pro show with it too. So we had like fitness pros come in, and we had 50 people. We didn't even make, you know, break even on that with the venue that you rent and, you know, the judges that you fly in and everything else. We didn't even break even. But to look at where we were 11 years ago to the size of that same show now, I mean, anywhere of 600 athletes will cross the stage. Our one-day show has turned into a 2-day show. And next year, we are in the works of talking with adding powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, just making it a big expo. So
wow.
Absolutely. And there again, it just starts with something small. It starts with an idea.
Yeah.
And a plan, and then implementing the plan and being consistent to the plan. And then the success of the plan.
Yep.
You know, that would probably be the only thing else that I would like to.
That's excellent. That's good. That's good to hear. And still sticking with something that you have love and passion for.
Absolutely.
Continuing to grow. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
I'm on Facebook. I like to keep things simple, stupid, for obvious reasons. It's just Ann Titone. My Instagram is just IFBB Ann Titone. My email is just antitone@aol.com. Gmail is antitone@gmail.com. Very simple, stupid. So.
And antitone.com is your actual site, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so they can find you there.
Yes.
Well, we thank you very, very much, Ann. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Hoping that we can continue to do something like this later on.
Sure.
Wish you and your husband the best of luck and keep doing things.
You.
And I'm Dennis Postuma signing off, and just continue to live to inspire. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.